Right, Cricbuzz live on what promises to be an engrossing, or if not that, a competitive second innings, because 250 is not a runaway winning score, but as history in Abu Dhabi shows, it's a score that is very difficult to attain for a team batting second. But 250, let's see what Joy Bhattacharya makes of it. What does Simon Doull make of it? 250. Yeah, you had said 240.
Anything above 240, I've got Afghanistan winning this game. And I'll stick with that now. 250, I don't think it's been easy. Sri Lanka showed late in the piece that when they bowled better, it wasn't as easy to get a hold of the ball. It's a big ground, so therefore your spinners come into play. What you want when you're a spin bowler is a nice big ground. If a batsman gets it properly, that's fine. If he gets it really well, it goes out of the ground for 6, no problem. You don't want him clothing it for 6, which is bottom of the bat, out of the park, those sorts of things. So big ground, spinners into play. Mujib, if Rashid can get a sniff, I think Afghanistan can win this match. So.
Okay, since he mentioned spin, let's look at some numbers for spin, Joy.
Yeah.
5 overs 22 Dhananjaya, 6 overs 22 Jayasuriya. That's 11 overs, 1 for 44. That is not the regular spinner still in there. Regular spinner, you add Akila Dhananjaya, 10 overs, 2 for 13-9. Yeah. That's 80 runs in 21 overs for 3 wickets.
Yep, and no, the spinners have, you look at it that way, Dhananjaya is the only really frontline spinner that they have.
Akila Dhananjaya, yes.
Dhananjaya. So what you're looking at is the situation is that they've actually got much more out of Jayasuriya than they would have expected. This is a dangerous total. If I was the Sri Lankan manager, I'd be looking at flight tickets as well. And on one side, I'd be watching the game, on the other side, I'd be quickly looking at my flight tickets.
That's a big call. Yeah. Look for flight tickets. Okay.
What did I just 164 in 29 overs for the seamers.
Yes,
therefore. 164.
So 66. Malinga 10 over 66.
Yeah.
Chamira 10 overs 43.
Yeah.
And where are we?
Tisara. 109.55, 164.
164.
5 for 55.
Yeah, they got 7 wickets, but a lot of those were at the back end of the innings. But 164 and 29 overs off the seam. They might only bowl 15, 18 overs of seam.
At best.
Afghanistan.
Yeah.
They're going to bowl a lot of spin, and it will not be easy. Yes, Sri Lanka will play spin reasonably well, but it's very, very competitive. Afghanistan will go in feeling pretty comfortable.
And nobody has really been timing it. Even the batsmen who've been set, they've struggled when they wanted to really time it towards the end. When they wanted, Rahmat Shah wanted to break free, that point he's just not being able to time it. So if a batsman spends...
Neither did, Shahidi? Hashmatullah Shahidi, when he tried to get a move on, he struggled.
Everyone, so it's not an easy pitch to bat on. You're going to have a lot of spinners. This will require real nerve. And again, exactly as you were saying, somebody to come up, put up his hand and say, I'm the captain now, I'm going to bat at 3 and 4 and show them how to bat this. The other thing is, very important to get early quick runs. Because if the ball gets soft, the spinners come in, it's going to get more and more difficult. So the big thing is, can somebody go out there and quickly get it to say 65, 70 in about 8-9 overs?
Yeah.
That now would be a difference.
Okay, if you're a Sri Lankan fan, then all the numbers are damning. Upul Taranga has been out of form. Kusal Mendis has been out of form. Now, if you look down that Sri Lankan playing 11, today they've stacked their side with batsmen. So that's one plus for them. So I don't know if Shihan Jayasuriya might be just sent up to open the batting to have a go at it. But otherwise, Pereira 3, Dhananjaya De Silva 4, Matthews, Shanaka, Pereira, Jayasuriya. Dhananjaya can bat a little bit. So you're looking at batting down to 9. But Taranga hasn't scored runs. Mendes hasn't scored runs. Pereira has been a bit hit and miss. Average score to win in Abu Dhabi. 21 days, there have been 14 that have won by the side batting first. Average score 260 to win. So they've got pretty much the pass score.
They're close, yeah.
Pretty close.
They've got pretty much the winning score. In the UAE, I mean, this is not meant to say that Sri Lanka are going to lose, guys. All you guys in Colombo and Gaul and Kandy and Matra and everywhere watching. We're going to present the other side soon. 15 out of 19 in the UAE, Sri Lanka have lost.
Wow.
In Abu Dhabi, they've lost 6 out of 8.
It's stacked against them, isn't it? And it's a
so therefore, somebody in that Sri Lankan camp should say, right, guys, let's make fun of these numbers.
Yeah, it's time to turn it around, isn't it? And that's what they have to do. Whether it be, at the top, whether it be Upul Taranga, who's vastly experienced, been in and out of the side over many, many years, whether it's Kusal Mendes, it's got to be someone. They've got to take that.
Somebody has to put up his hand.
Yeah, and I agree, that new ball's going to skid on nicely. So they've got to make the most. I think they need to be 65, 70 after 10 overs. And if they can do that with 1 wicket down at the most, maybe they've got an opportunity. But it's going to be very tough.
It'll be all about patience, won't it, in batting? I'm looking at who scored runs for Afghanistan. Rahmat Shah, 72 of 90 balls. Even right from the beginning, Ahmed Shehzad. What do you associate with Ahmed Shehzad? Someone who has a go. He was 34 of 47. But Rahmat Shah was someone who hung in there and actually looking quite classy. Striker of 80 might just be the way to go.
No, absolutely. I think he was the sort of designated anchor. Because Mohammad Shehzad's figures are a bit, I mean, they don't tell you the real story. It looked as if he was playing defensive. No, he was just throwing his bat at anything. When it hit, it looked really nice. And he had some of the prettiest running between the wickets that I've seen since the glory days.
That's not fair, Joy. He tries, nobody tries harder than Mohammad Shehzad to run between wickets.
No, Inzamam, but yeah, he's retired in the
It was
defense.
interesting last night listening to the Pakistan camp talking about their yo-yo tests and what they had to get past on the yo-yo, which is obviously the fitness test that these teams go through now. How would Mohammad Shehzad do on the yo-yo?
No, the yo-yo test is for athletes.
The yo-yo test that he wants to do is that one.
If he's got to do a yo-yo test, he's not playing international cricket. It's not going to happen.
But
So, there's room for everybody.
In 1945, one of the most, I think 44 or 45, one of the most difficult battles fought in the Second World War was the Battle of the Bulge, when they went to this thing. And when Lasith Malinga was bowling to Mohammad Shehzad, I was thinking, it's a Battle of the Bulge which has returned again to international cricket.
Joy, you do have bodyguards, don't you? The Battle of the Bulge, Shehzad, yes. How cute were those 49.5 and 49.6?
Mujib, you come out to bat, just get bat on ball.
The other guy just hit a 6.
Yeah, he's just hit a huge 6. Just get
Yeah,
bat
he's
on ball and get
7
down the other end. But no, not this one.
Audacity of
Two
But see, he missed the first one and he looked fate in the eye and said, I will challenge you again.
I have to hit the second
And no simple shots like, try and loft it or hit it straight. Reverse sweep to a fast bowler, no less. I love
So let's see what Ehsanullah got 45 of 65 balls. Again, you see the people who scored runs. Shehzad 34, Ehsanullah 45, Rahmat Shah 72. They've all got
Stuck
themselves
around.
in. You've
all
got to
stuck
get
around.
yourself in. You can't just go out and start hitting. Asghar Stanikzai tried. He got 1 from 5. Gulbadin Naib 4 from 5. The only two guys who really came in and got runs were Nabi 15 of 12 and Rashid Khan who got 13 of 6.
You got a free license at the end. I mean, to swing for the rafters. So that's a possibility, and someone will be able to do that. And that's the reason they got to 250 was a couple of those little cameos. And cameos at that stage in this sort of game when batsmen have batted for a long period of time, they only need to be off 6, 7, 8 balls. And that's what makes a bit of a difference at the back end of the innings. So I actually thought they timed their innings quite well. It wasn't easy apart from maybe that first 8 to 10 overs when the ball was skidding on. Batting looked reasonably difficult, and I think they timed it fairly well. They didn't say it's a 300 pitch, we have to get 300 and get bowled out for 180. They thought, okay, it's a 250, 260, we'll try and get around about that. If we can, we will be competitive, and I think that's been pretty smart.
Now, I think Lasith Malinga is writing an open letter to the Sri Lankan team saying, at any point, have I told you that you will not stop the ball when I'm bowling?
Or take my catches. Or what is it?
Therefore, can you please hold some catches?
Yeah. Their fielding's been atrocious.
Why are they diving in front to stop? Are they just getting late on the ball and that's why they have to reach out to it?
Apart from Tisara Pereira, they don't want the ball coming to them.
Yes.
And that's what happens when you drop catches, when your fielding's not going well, you don't want the ball to come to you and you want to hide in the field. And so when it does come to you, you don't want it, you're not ready for it, so you're tense. Rather than saying, I want it, I want to be involved here. And Pereira took 2 good catches. He's got good hands, I know that, but he wants the ball to come to him, whereas some of those others probably don't.
I found something.
Just thinking about it. No, just going back to this. How many of these players are now playing in the IPL? If you look at year 1 of the IPL, there were 6, 7 of them. Jayasurya, Muralidharan, Baz, Sangakkara, Ajanta Mendes, everyone was...
Dilshan. That was a great phase.
Mahela,
Great era of Sri Lankan cricket.
7, 8 of them are playing. And one of the things about the IPL is fielding is also a very important aspect of it. Today you're looking at it, I mean, who played last year? Akila Dhananjaya, he got a couple of matches.
Yeah, that's it.
So literally you're talking from say Sri Lankans playing about 70, 80 matches in the IPL, okay, to playing 2 matches. And it is a sign, because the one thing about IPL is it's completely democratic. They don't care what color of your skin, what's the color of your skin, where you come from. As long as you can play good cricket, you're in. And I think the fact that, in an open market, people are not buying Sri Lankan cricketers, it tends to show that there is a decline, and somewhere they need to arrest the decline.
Yeah, I mean, even others. There was people like Sachitra Senanayake, there was Ajanta Mendes. There were a lot of players like these coming and playing
regularly.
in the IPL.
They always had players who would come in and perform.
And that's why it's so important in this match that somebody in that Sri Lankan team says, look, we need to arrest this slide. Since the World Cup of 2015, we've only won 30% of our matches, 31%. As we said to you right at the start of the program, in 2017, they got blanked 0-5 3 times in a series. So somebody in that Sri Lankan team has to say, we are not going on that flight back. All you travel agents who are on a hotline to Joy, get off that hotline.
I had a couple of very good deals, but just in case.
It doesn't matter. Somebody, and at times like these, the senior players stand up. It's got to be the likes of Taranga, Matthews, these kind of people have to stand up and say, we're winning this game, guys. Because we win this full of confidence, we've lost to Bangladesh, we win this. I know our net run rate is down. We hope that Bangladesh will beat Afghanistan as well, but we're at least alive in the tournament.
Yeah, well, that's the first thing they've got to do is to try and win. Then worry about Bangladesh doing their job. And
Correct.
if Bangladesh do their job, then that's fine. If they don't, so be it. At least Sri Lanka have given themselves an opportunity if they get through this game. So it's not about run rate. It's nothing to do with run rate or anything along those lines. This is all about a win and just a little bit of confidence. If they get to play another game in the tournament, they must find it somewhere, and it's got to be done in the top 3, top 4.
I mean, for me, for example, Tamim Iqbal coming out like that was a statement.
Yes.
Somebody here needs to make a statement. Somebody here needs to say that I will not go out gently into the night. And that's very important for them. Look, my sense is they need to have a bit of a two-pronged strategy. That means somebody not so important goes and says, I'm the guy who's going to try and smash at least a couple of balls.
Maybe his game is suited for that.
Yep, hit a couple of 4s every over. The other guy is saying, okay, I will stay in, because, if you don't stay in, you're not going to get runs later.
They've got finishers, people like Dasun Shanaka, Thisara Pereira. At the end, they can score those runs. But I mean, these are quality spin bowlers now. We talked at the start of the program. Nabi, Mujib, and Rashid. These are quality spinners. These are not just young kids coming straight out of associate cricket. They've played cricket around the world. If they get a good track, they're not going to let it go. So there's 3 spinners there straight away. Aftab Alam will bowl, probably a little bit from Najib, but Gulbadin Naib will bowl medium pace. He'll take the pace off it, maybe. Yeah. So they've got 5-6 bowling options there, but it'll come down to those 30 overs of spin. Okay, so there you are. We've got a little bit of time left. India play tomorrow, and we've been hearing from Rohit Sharma. He's done a press conference, and everybody's been asking Rohit Sharma, what about 4? What about 5? What about 6? Well, one of them is Dhoni. What about the other 2? And when he was asked that question, he tried his best to answer it. He went a little round and round, but this is what he said.
It's not settled, obviously. We all know about it because there has been a lot of guys who have played at that position. Of course, going forward, we want everything to be settled. But it gives opportunity to the guys to come and play the cricket that they like to play and, seal the spot. I wouldn't say it's a concern, but yeah, if you look at the future, of course, you always as a captain or as a player, you want your team to be settled, and even the guys who are eyeing for that spot, want to be settled because nobody likes to be dropped and brought back into the squad. We want everyone to be feeling safe and settled so that they can play freely. So right now, I think looking at all the guys who are eyeing for that spot, mentally they look fresh and they are raring to go. And so I guess they're just a performance away from making their claim for that particular spot.
Yeah. Now, whoever gets picked, we'll find out what the think tank thinks about who should be number 4, number 5, assuming that Dhoni is number 6 or number 5, whatever. He's one of those 3. Zahir Khan seemed to suggest that because there are no other bowling options, Kedar Jadhav will probably get 1 slot, which means you're looking at 3 people. You're looking at Dinesh Karthik, you're looking at Manish Pandey, you're looking at Ambati Rayudu. to fill that one slot. And so tomorrow's team will before the match starts, we'll get an indication of which way they're thinking.
What form do you take? And that's the problem that India are facing at the moment. Do they take players that have been in England and out of form?
Yes.
Dinesh Karthik, for instance, does he get another opportunity? Do they take Manish Pandey's form from the India A tour?
Yes.
Was outstanding. So do they say, okay, we're going to go with a form player and we're going to put him in because we feel he's probably going to be that best option? Kedar Jadhav is going to play. There's two of them that are decided. Dhoni's at 5 and Jadhav's at probably 4 or 6. Either. So there's room for only one, I think.
My point only is that there's just one more factor in this, and that's rest. Playing on consecutive days means, are you going to give somebody a rest and say, okay, stay on one more day, loosen up? So that could be a factor. Just because they're playing back to back, especially in the Gulf, these are not easy conditions. So that's the only sort of spin I'd put in this, saying that maybe they play more than one.
I'm just thinking, if my name is Manish Pandey or my name is Ambati Raidu, I play the first game. Someone comes and tells me, do you want rest? I'll say, no, play me for the next 10 days. I'll play the next 10 days back to back. I'm trying to get a place for myself for the World Cup. This will give us a very good indication of what they're thinking for the World Cup.
Yeah, and Raidu's the other one that was informed through the IPL, wasn't he? But didn't get an opportunity, hasn't had an opportunity since then. So that's the differences of form that they're looking to worry about. And that's probably been the biggest issue. But whatever they decide to do, I think they've got to stay with it.
Now, the reason we're talking about all this, of course, we showed that to you yesterday, we'll keep showing it to you. It's very rare that a team with a batting heritage like India does suddenly finds itself with 2 key slots unattended. In recent times, we've tried Ajinkya Rahane there, you've tried Suresh Raina there. These are people from outside this team. Now, remember, when Kohli comes in at 3, then you'll have another slot filled, then Rahul might become a contender. Remember, KL Rahul is here. But Dooley, you were surprised by that stat yesterday as well.
Ranked 10th at number 4 in the world since the 2015 World Cup, at number 4, and 6th at number 5. But look at the 2-1-1 and 2-2 at the bottom. So they play those areas of the game brilliantly well. Now, the finishing by MS Dhoni is obviously part of that, rank number 2 down at 6 and 7. And Kohli, and whether it be Rohit Sharma or Shikhar Dhawan, whoever has been at the top, holds that ranking high. But 4 and 5, they have struggled, have chopped, they've changed, they've picked different guys, they've tried combinations.
Exactly my point.
It has not worked.
It has not worked, and I think it's both. They have chopped and changed enough for you.
Yes.
That's also a sign that it's not working. It sort of feeds off each other.
Yeah.
And that is
Rahul there. That hasn't
Rahul.
worked.
Yeah.
They said Rahane is going to be there. They didn't give him a decent enough run. Well, they said he got 1 score, failed in 3. Suddenly there he was gone again. So whoever gets picked, hopefully he'll stay there for a long time. The other option everybody is talking about, well, not everybody, but some people are talking about, is do you want Kohli at number 4? Going ahead, do you want Kohli at 4? Then you got Dhoni and somebody else at 6. And then Kohli becomes your finisher, bats all the way through to the end. And then you play KL Rahul at 3.
Well, he's got to want to do that. But see, that to me looks like a better lineup. If I was going to say to Virat Kohli, if he came and said, for the betterment of the team, I'll bat 4. And then you do have Sharma, Shikhar Dhawan, KL Rahul, 1, 2, 3. Kohli 4, MS Dhoni 5, Kedar Jadhav 6. He gives you your part-time bowling, and that's your option. And then you go with Pandya, Bhuvi, and your 3 bowlers, the 2 spinners, and Jasprit Bumrah.
So if Kohli is already in by then, he's batting with someone like Bhuvneshwar at number 8. He's still giving you the runs fairly quickly in the company for batsmen. So that's the option.
But he's been so successful at 3.
Correct.
Why
do you move the best number 3 in the world away?
Correct.
To fill a weakness? Or do you say, I'll play to my strength and someone else gets in there?
Absolutely. And India has, look, for whatever, the record has been good. Because your top 3 have always delivered.
Yeah.
Your top 3 have given you 65 runs on average.
When your top 3 don't.
Yeah, but if your top 3, to solve a problem, do I make another problem for myself? Because that doesn't mean that the number 3 slot will be properly filled. So I'm going to put somebody in a number 3 who's not used to playing at number 3 at this point in time. So the question is, you ask yourself, is this about this tournament, about winning the Asia Cup, or is it about looking forward to the World Cup? I always believe you have to look at winning this tournament, and experimentation is fantastic. If I'm playing against Hong Kong, against Pakistan, I shouldn't be thinking.
I'd like to see stability when the team in the home series against West Indies is picked.
Yeah.
I hope largely that team goes to Australia and then plays again in New Zealand and in the home series against Australia. So you've got 24 games, I think, from now on. So the team is fairly settled till then. Right, we've got a game on our hands here. What have we got? 249 from Afghanistan. I think the captain said he'd be happy with 225, 230. He's got about 20 more than he'd have been happy with. We think it's going to be Afghanistan. It had better be, because otherwise we need another expert tomorrow. And Joy Bhattacharjya. So thank you very much to Joy Bhattacharjya and Simon Doull. Afghanistan, 3 spinners. That's 30 overs there. That'll make Sri Lanka's job tough. We think Sri Lanka up against it, but love to see someone really taking charge and saying, if Afghanistan can make 249, why can't we make 250? I'd love to see how Sri Lanka think just as much as I'd like to see how Sri Lanka play. So there you are. That's it for now. Remember, we come back at over number 15 and over number 35 for Uber Presents the Cricbuzz Combox. So join us then.